Hey guys, welcome back. This is Val. In today's video, I'm going to show you something a little bit different. What you see here is an animation done from a few screenshots from Stellar Blade on PlayStation 5 Pro. And this animation is not done on a PlayStation. It's done on a PC using a specific software called Postshot. And Postshot is a software that takes a few photos or a video sequence and converts that into something called Gaussian Splats that look like this. A point cloud that has splotches in it and that they change their behavior and look depending on from which angle you look at them, right? They kind of become brighter and darker and change color and all that. And this is something that's very useful for animation and also for redoing stuff post work, right? If you capture the scene once and then convert it into this Gaussian splat, so to speak, you can then enter the scene as much as you can, as much as you want, and you can add a camera and you can animate that camera, which you saw in the beginning, right? And how wide this is depends on pretty much on your photos and how you capture them on your PlayStation. So I'm going to show you that in a second how this is created. But there are a few benefits of using this. One of them is that the animations you can make here are a little bit different than what you can on a PlayStation. Using a hand controller, it's kind of difficult to zoom in, move the camera in a smooth manner, right? It can be a little bit jaggy at times. And here you can precisely pinpoint, like on this timeline, how your camera is moving, right? And you can pretty much here on the camera use a zoom level, right? You can set your image resolution, position of the camera, rotation of the camera, and so forth. And it's super easy to use. Now, there are a few things as you create this. You can see my cameras here, my camera locations, right? As they were captured on the PlayStation, and then they were transferred into the software for creating this Gaussian splat. So this is not a real 3D scene. It's more like a representation, like a point cloud that's a little bit more advanced than a point cloud. And this can be used in this Postshot software that's for free. You can, once you create this, load it and also share it with other people. And the thing is, you can also open this up in Blender, or you can open it up in game engines such as the Unreal Engine. So quality-wise, this one here took just a few minutes to create on a high-end PC, and it depends on how many photos you have, if you're downscaling them or not. I'm going to show you in a second how to capture them on a PlayStation. But then again, this kind of differs a little bit, how precisely you want to create these effects, how much data you want to have there, how much time you're spending creating them and so forth, and also the resolution of your photos or the video. I'd say this is kind of useful for recapturing, stills as well, because, here you can just go in here and precisely move the camera around and recapture your photo and say, hey, I really like this framing better than what I could, capture on my PlayStation, right? And so this is useful for stills and animation. Pretty cool, right? So hence the name Postshot. Now, if you want to download this software, it's for free. There is a link below this video. Now, what I'm going to show you now is how to set this up on a PlayStation. So here on a PlayStation, you want to obviously go to the location you want to capture your scenery, and you will want to freeze and enter photo mode. Now, the thing is, there are different ways you can capture this. One is to use still images, right? So you would just go ahead and let me just remove the copyright thing and recommend using FOV 90 and then hide it. And what you want to do is go like a half circle. You can go full 360 if you want, If you want to, create a 360 scenery, you can do that, right? But go ahead and do like a half an arc at mid height. So something like that. And just start here, take the screenshot, go here, take the screenshot, go here, take the screenshot, go here, take the screenshot, and you move on and move on and move on until you cover maybe 10 screenshots at this height. Then you want to lower the camera and move it, shift it up a little bit, and repeat another 10, like so, right? And then you want to raise the camera and tilt it down a little bit here and repeat and capture maybe 10 more, like so. If you plan on being close to Eve in this case, you can go ahead and take a few, shots here as well. Same on mid height and also lower here. If you want to capture a little bit more detail on her body and so forth, right? So, and that's pretty much it. That's how you capture that. You go around in 3 height levels, FOV 90, and you save those out. Another way of doing this is to kind of use a video recording instead, which is a lot quicker and easier to do, but it has lower quality. If you save screenshots like this, they will be saved in 4K and really high quality. And if you save video, the video will not have the same quality. It's always compressed on the PlayStation. And also there is an kind of an issue. Let me show you that. So pretty much if I go and pause the game, go out of photo mode, and we go to here on the PlayStation, and you go all the way up here to home and then settings, right? And in here you want to go for captures and broadcasts, and pretty much captures are here in the video format. The problem with PlayStation is that if you are saving in 2K, which I've set to do now, you can use MP4 or WebM, and MP4 is a format that Postshot can read directly, so we don't need to convert it, but WebM cannot be read by Postshot. So in that case, if you're using WebM, you have to convert it first to an image sequence. We can do that in a different video, but right now you want to use MP4 if you're using video, because that way you can just directly let it import that video sequence. Now, if you're using 4K, you cannot change the format. It's WebM by default. You cannot change it. So the way I use this, the first sequence you saw was a 2K recording and MP4, and that's it. Now, let's go back to the game. There we go. And pretty much what I did here was the same thing. Enter the capture mode here, and we want to turn off that copyright thing. We want to have 90 on FOV. Hide that stuff, right? And here, what we want to do is pretty much the same thing, but when I press select and choose start new recording. Once it starts, you can then slightly move the camera slowly at this height around your character. That captures a lot of data. Then you continue, just lower the camera, tilt it up a little bit, keep recording, like so, slowly move around. And then you repeat, elevate the camera, tilt it down, and continue to do the same thing here. Now, another thing you can do is, like I said, if you wanna, capture Eve a little bit more in detail, you can just move closer here and capture her with more detail like that. lower the camera, go around her again, lower the camera yet again, and go around one final round. It's pretty much the same thing, right? And if you're doing full 360, which you can, I can cover that in a different video. You pretty much do exactly the same thing, but you go around 360, right? So the post shot Gaussian splats you create will, you know, differ depending on what kind of footage you have. So pretty much then you can just hit stop recording and it's saved. Then you need a USB stick, which you can then, you know, plug into your system. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's enter, get out of here. There we go. So I'm plugging in my USB now, and pretty much what you do is you go out of the game, you close the game, and then you go to your media gallery. And once in here, you have the latest recording right now. This is the one we just did. And these are the shots we took, right? Now, here is the thing. It's very simple to move. You just select and you add copy to USB drive. You select that, copy one clip, copy, and it's copying that. And it's that simple. Once it's done, you plug it into your PC and you have that MP4 file you can use, right? Let me cancel that. And now I'm going to show you how to bring this back into Postshot. All right, and here we are in Postshot again. Let me now open up, and you can just drag and drop the PlayStation 4 file directly here. And in here, you're gonna kind of set a few things. Now, you know, upon doing this procedure, it detects 4.9K images because, you know, I have like maybe 2 minutes of video footage at 60 frames per second or so, and that adds up, right? And the thing is, you can let the software use the best images and hold it to maybe 300. That's sufficient to get a really good looking scene. Camera poses, compute from images, single lens and focal length. You can tick that. That will help the software to kind of match the cameras, because, you know, once we were inside PlayStation, we didn't change our focal length, right? We set it to 90 and then we kept it the same throughout the entire recording. So we didn't change that. Now, here is an important thing. It's called down sample images. That's something you want to use if you want things to go a little bit faster. So you don't need to have 4K images, and if you do, you want to scale them down a little bit because it can take a little bit longer to create it with larger resolution. So I recommend down sampling to 1.6K, and then you click on import, and it's gonna start creating the scene. So pretty much what it's gonna do is gonna select the images, then it's gonna match all the cameras, and then it's gonna align the cameras and start, you know, creating and finding patterns across the entire section. This is gonna take a minute or so, so I'm gonna just pretty much pause my video and come back in a second so that you don't have to wait for it. If you have a high-end PC, it's gonna go a lot faster, right? So again, I'm gonna just pause this for now so that once it starts to kind of draw the scene, it's gonna be a little bit more interactive. Right now it's just finding its way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pause, and I'm gonna see you in a second. And now it starts to kind of, it's called training, and it stops after 30K steps. You can see the steps at the bottom, and then it has a maximum amount of Gaussian splats, right? And the higher the number, the better the quality is gonna be, but also it's gonna take longer to create. But you can see it's pretty interactive once it starts, right? And you can also remove all the stuff here, the overlays, and it already projects the scenery, and you can sense and see what's going on here. For being that kind of software, I've been using different types of applications throughout the years, and this is really fast, really fast. I'm very impressed by the software and how easy it is to use. And then again, you can always create a camera, and on the camera you can set your focal length right here. So and you can rotate the camera up and down, left and right, skew it and all that, right? And thing is, set render resolution, and you have a timeline at the bottom, so you can set it at the very beginning here, enter a keyframe, then scroll to the last frame, move the camera closer, let's say here, and add keyframe, and then you have an animation done, right? It's that easy to use. So it's nothing, you know, complex. It's very easy, and it's very interactive. While it's working, it kind of lets you play with it and play with the set. And then if you want to, you know, increase the quality, as you can see, it's already at 12K steps, right? It only goes to 30. You can always save, store training context, like here. You can save it, which will then allow you to load this and continue the training, okay? Because you can always pause the training and save it and turn off your PC, right? And then come back to the scene if you want and load it back again and start training if you have store training context on here. If you don't, it's not gonna, you know, allow you to do that. But you can always pause, change the settings, and, you know, enter more quality if you need to. So pretty much, guys, that's all for now. This is what I wanted to cover. Again, there is a link below this video to Postshot. It's free. It's a beta software for now, so it's free, and it works with, you know, not only game photos, it works with your smartphone photos, iPhone photos, or any camera whatsoever, outdoors as well. We just found that in a game environment, you have more control over the camera and lighting conditions and all that, right? So guys, that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this stuff, like the video and follow the channel, and I will bring more cool stuff in the upcoming videos. Thanks so much for watching.